European Cup, and we'd won 3-2 here against Benfica in the quarter-finals. Go over to Benfica, and Matt's thing was the first 20 minutes we keep it tight, two wingers pull them back, make it tight. I don't think George was listening, you know, because in 15 minutes we were 3 up, won 5-1. That was George. You know?
For me, it was a very strange night because I was a Manchester United supporter from a boy before I played for the club, and to play for United was a dream. The final was a dream, and that night I lived the dream. The second goal was a typical goal. George, it embodied everything it had. It had grace, balance, stamina, strength, and a will to win, and that was the goal that put us on the road to victory.
I go back when I was just 14, 15, coming over, and I brought Mum and Dad over at the time, the very first time, and once George knew that I come from Belfast, he was one of the first players to come over to shake my Mum and Dad's hand, and also to say, you know, how I'm enjoying it and whatever, and stick at it and, you know, see what you can do. And he was a fantastic bloke.
Most of us coming up to a game would get, you know, very nervy and scared almost. But, I mean, George didn't know what that meant. He had absolutely no fear. It was his stage. He was going to go out and he was going to go and show and do what he was going to do. And he had no fear at all. He had no fear of failure.
When you train with him, you just realise this was a one-off, this was a genius, this was a superstar. We talk about superstars nowadays, but and we have great debates about this player being better than that player. He was better than anybody.
Good dummy, has Best up in front of him. This is Best. Wriggling out space. What a fine save! What a fine shot, Georgie Best. Still with Best. Anyone go? And a goal! Oh, not such a good one by Paddy Kirk, but in fact Bobby Charlton made something of it. Law lifting himself again. Dowling! Best! And there it is! George Best! 3-2!
Arguably, he left Old Trafford before reaching his peak at United, aged 27. The Reds had declined since the glory days, and Best would go on to play for a host of other clubs around the world. Now United have announced their own permanent tribute to George.
The statue itself will be life-size and a half. It will be in bronze. We're going to combine it with both Dennis and Bobby, 3 European Players of the Year we've had in the club, to create a very sort of magnificent and lasting memory.
George just, like I say, he used to be so clever and so he's such a tricky player, and fans used to love watching him, you know, because they all dream about having skills like he had.
George's genius and greatness is undisputed. His life is now but a treasured memory, but his skills, bravery and unparalleled talents made the world take notice. George Best was the embodiment of the Reds' flair, grace and attacking ethos. He wore the badge with pride and was revered by the fans. An icon, a legend. His imprint on Manchester United permanent. One of its greatest sons will never be forgotten.
Extraordinary in a game with so many determined attacking players that we haven't yet had a goal. Morgan. Kids cross. Law's head, and he's found it. Best jumps over it. Charlton! And Best once more bursting on that scene and played there nicely by Kirk and Best to hammer on, and Jackson, and it's there! Oh, a mistake by John Jackson, and Best has scored again. Header by Moore for Best, and a great goal! Taking over, Best breaking, and in a great position of breakthrough. This looks back. What a great goal! George Best and referee John Bell clap his hands together and said, well done, too. It's up there at the near post. Best off in chase. Can he give Simpson the slip? A shot and a goal! A mistake by Winchester.
His pivotal moment won us a cup. If we go back to that performance when we beat Madrid and beat Benfica, and I think these were the pivotal moments where it takes a team from being a really good team into the greatness, you know. And of course the cup final when they scored the second goal, we beat the goalkeeper, rounded the goalkeeper and placed it in the net. Single-handedly, he won these games. So I think that is the impact he made in Manchester United. And of course, with Dennis Law and with Bobby Charlton, with Nobby Stiles. But I think that they would agree that he was a player that took him into something else. He raised the bar to a level of skill and artistry and courage that even they couldn't quite believe that a young player could do this.
He was a fantastic bloke, a generous bloke. There was no big-headedness about him. There was nothing at all like that. He was just one of the lads, and great to be around.
He brought the crowd to the feet because he did things that were exceptional. I mean, he floated, didn't he, over the pitch? He just floated around. I mean, that didn't seem any effort to him. And no, they don't make him like that. He was exceptional.
Without question, he was an incredibly gifted and talented and courageous player for Manchester United. And I think that when he came on the scene, I think he carried every young person's dreams in the 60s. It was the time of freedom, of expression, and it was an era that was come out of wartime, you know, from the end of the war, and there was a liberation of young people in those days. And I think George carried their dreams.
You think of Maradona and you think of Di Stefano and Puskas in my day. So there's been many great players, but Bestie was definitely up there with it. But he'll be remembered for all his magnificent ability that he had. He was definitely one on his own.